look at all those talented YouTube ladies. They're aquascapers, fish enthusiasts, great people. What are we going to do about this, Phoebe? What? Phoebe? You're right. You're right! Fish tube ain't big enough for the 4 of us. Good dog, Phoebe. You give great advice. I challenge all of them to an aquascaping contest. Hey guys, Simply Betta here. I'm part of this little friendly competition between myself and a few other lovely lady YouTubers. There's Kasha of Creative Pet Keeping, Joanna from The Small Scape, and Lisa from KG Tropicals. And then there's me. So why is it a contest? Well, Aquatop sent all of us the exact same all-in-one nano aquarium to review and to make a scape in. This little 5-gallon Pisces tank here. We are all gonna do our own Nano Aquascape in our tanks, and then we want you to vote to see whose is your favorite. You can vote on it on the Aquatop Instagram page, which I will have a link down below for you. Please be sure to check out the other YouTube videos from my friends here and see them make their scapes. And, by the way, vote on your favorite one. If it's not mine, I won't know, or will I? And if you follow all of us on Instagram and Aquatop and you participate in the voting, you are eligible to actually win a giveaway where Aquatop's gonna be giving away one of these nice all-in-one units. All right, I've explained the competition, I've explained the rules, I've introduced everybody. Flip the hair. Let's do this. Okay, teeny tiny unboxing video. See what this Pisces looks like. Okay, it unboxes very easily. Is the internal filter. So here it is. It was pretty easy to set up. I think the shape is kind of neat. Light is a little touch control light. I think this will be a pretty neat little project. If you've seen my last few videos, you might have noticed that I've moved houses. Life was chaos for a while. Oh my goodness. Moving houses is hard. I'm finally starting to get settled though, and it feels really nice. And this is going to be my first little project tank in the new house. And of course, one of my little displaced betta fish is gonna go in here. It'll be nice, this will be fun. It's like a warm-up to my big 90-gallon that I really would like to scape soon when I'm ready. The first step, obviously, when you're about to make a beautiful new little aquascape, is to decide on materials. What are you gonna use to create the lovely little aquatic space that you have in your mind? I want to do something that I've never done before. I would like to use river rocks. Usually I go straight for the Seiryu stone and the dragon stone, like these beautiful, just exotic looking, highly detailed stones that are so cool. I love them. But I've never just tried to use some humble local river rocks that I pick myself. I like doing things myself. You may have noticed. I have this vision of like a sloping river rock hill, an off-centered hill piled really high, not just like throwing river rocks in a pile and just leaving it and saying I'm done, more like a very structured, lovely river rock hill. What do you think, Phoebe? What do you think I should do? Now for getting rocks. I had this fun idea to actually just walk over to my local river and spend some time picking out pretty river rocks all by myself. But then the day I was going to do that, we were hit by a snowstorm. It was pretty bad. That kind of ruined that idea.
Maybe it's a bit too snowy to collect rocks. This is gonna be really cold. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I don't want to be standing in freezing cold water looking for rocks. Am I crazy? That'd be a really horrible way to go missing. I give up! It's too cold! Ah!
Instead, I did something a little bit less scenic. I marched my way to my local gravel supply yard and I asked for some rocks. They were amused, so they let me pick out a bunch of rocks from the rock mountain piled high there, and I left. It was very efficient. The next step is to pick out my rocks and wash them. Let's wash some rocks. This is really great content, Taylor. Washing the rocks was about as exciting as it sounds. I sorted my rocks by size and color, like a normal person. Now I have to play with an arrangement and try to come up with something that I like. At the beginning stage of Escape, you should also be thinking about what kind of plants you want, because depending on your plants, it'll have to change things about your tank, like whether or not you need a nutrient-dense substrate. In this tank, I'll be using crypts and some other root-feeding plants like Marcellia. I'll have a mix of root feeders and stem feeders, but Florin vulcanate is the substrate that I always use. I have my base layer. Now I get to play around with some rock arrangements. Here's the part where I try to resist the urge to do this and find some sort of arrangement that looks nice. Not too big, not too small, rocks that look nice and are rounded because I like the look. A variety of colors and textures. Once I had a bunch in there and it was getting nice and unstable, I adhered the rocks together. Liquid superglue or cyanoacrylate, and fluffed up bits of cigarette filter. This is a trick I picked up from other aquascapers who are way better than me. There's something about cigarette filter plus cyanoacrylate that makes it super tough. I got some rocks in place, I tore up a piece of cigarette filter, and I poked it into the contact points of the rocks. Then I'd saturate it with a superglue that had a nice long precision tip on it. After a few minutes to dry, it's actually pretty strong. I love how this turned out. Look at it. This is so neat. I love this. Look at this tower of rocks, and it's not gonna fall over. That is cool. What do you think of my hardscape? Oh, awesome. Planting the plants is like the best part. I'll show you what I have. For a bigger stem plant, I chose Ludwigia Mini Red, or Ludwigia. This is going to be the tall plant, and it has some color to it, and it's an easier plant to keep red, which is why I have that. I have something called Bacopa, which is a smaller stem plant. It's Bacopa Compact. I've never tried it before, I just thought it'd be fun. I have some Lobelia cardinalis, which is a little stem plant that stays kind of short. And then my main carpeting plant is called Marcellia crenata. This really seems to me almost like Monte Carlo, but it tolerates lower light conditions. I think I like it, so I have 2 cups of it. I have a couple Bucephalandra that I don't know what they are. They're unknown varieties. And if I feel like it, which I don't know yet, I also have some Cryptolutea and some Cryptwenti. First thing you do is you take the plants out of their cups and you get rid of all that gel that they grew in, their growing medium. Be right back. I'm ready. I've got my cutting board full of plants here on a damp paper towel. I couldn't find my nice tongs that I use for planting. I couldn't find them anywhere. I blame the move, but I was able to find my chopsticks. I don't know if that will work. There's no harm in trying. Planting is the best part of this whole process. It's so zen and relaxing. This is looking awesome, and I love it. And just so you know, chopsticks are not a good instrument for putting plants in the dirt because they're not very precise. The contest isn't done for another 5 days or so, so I'm gonna fill this up, sit back, let those plants grow for 5 days, and get some final photos. I just filled it up. I think it's super cute. I really like how it turned out. It feels kind of fairy tale-ish to me, which I always like. Okay, this is day 0, right after filling the tank. To try to get my plants to perk up and look nice for the final contest photos, I added some aquatic plant fertilizer. Clean water doesn't have any nutrients in it to support plants, so I use Florin Multi from Brightwell Aquatics. They're my sponsor, and they're awesome. Look at the plants after a few days. They look happy. The red Ludwigia Mini has some good growth and it looks so nice and red. The other plants also look quite nice, but they're slower growing plants and don't look as dramatically different in just a few days. The buse is turning up towards the light. The bacopa looks nice. The lobelia cardinalis looks nice. The marcellia looks about the same, but it's really slow growing. I also added some colorful paper in the background just because I didn't want to see the wall back there, and a little light illuminated it, and I just like the way that looks. I think that's cute. Of course, I have to add a fish. Before I add my betta fish, I did my usual bacteria starter and bacteria food. This adds bacteria to the water. This feeds them. Remember, various bacteria strains you need in a tank don't thrive in clean, fresh water. They need to eat to multiply, and that's what this does. I daily dosed the fertilizer, the bacteria food for days before I added my fish, and then I'll continue to daily dose for a while. And this is one of my favorite fish. Isn't he lovely? Tancho fish are some of my favorite fish. I hope he likes his new little home. Okay, let's talk about the tank. It's lovely, but there's one small issue with people like us who want to keep a fish that prefers slow-moving water. The current is fairly strong. So what can you do? To slow down flow that's too strong for your fish, you can use a spray bar attachment if you have one. You can point the flow towards something that will break it up, like plants or rocks or a decoration. You can put a sponge near or around the outflow or some polyfill, just something to break up the direct flow. I decided to go the decoration route. I have some cute little glass plant holders that have suction cups on them. I put them in front of the outflow and pointed the flow right at them to break it up, and it worked. I actually took it up a notch later and I did this. This made a baffle for the water, and it slowed it down a lot. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you liked watching me do this. It was really fun, like collecting the rocks and making the little tower. This was a great warm-up practice for my big 90-gallon custom aquarium I have coming up fairly soon. I'm excited. If you want, go follow those instructions I mentioned earlier, or, go read my description down below, and you can participate in the voting and in the contest and in the giveaway. Be sure to also go watch the videos of my friends, and I hope you like all of our scapes and that you had a good time, because I did too. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.